Good morning again, everybody. Retired Chef Pat here. Today is Sunday, the 23rd of November. I thought I'd stop in real quick and kind of reintroduce myself again to you guys for people who really don't know that much about me and that. My name is Pat. I was in the food service business for over 45 years. I did quite a bit of things over the years, various different things. I started out from nothing, flipping hamburgers at the young age of 16, I guess, getting started in the business, and then from there moving on over the years. I did many different things. I managed many restaurants. I owned a couple of sub shops of my own at one point, Mistretta's Classic Subs and the New York Deli Express, right here in good old Rochester, New York. That was many years ago when I was young and better looking. But anyways, I did a lot of stuff though. I worked in many different restaurants. I cooked in many restaurants. I managed many different restaurants, from classic fine dining to fast food, you name it. I did it all. I cooked, like I said, and I managed. I I also, at one point, I tried to get out of the food business because I wanted to have a normal life, to have my weekends off. I worked in a couple of factories and that. I did. I worked for a vinyl siding company. This is many years ago, and I had crews that worked under me. I was the boss in charge, like 14 crews under me for siding and that. I did lots of various things. I worked in a book bindery. I made books for a living in a book bindery. I ran a machine there for the books and that sewed books together and that sort of thing. And I did a bunch of other stuff in the industry, I should say. But the food always sucked me back in, and I just kept going on from there. I worked with many great people over the years, and that's how I learned everything I know. Back in those days, you pretty much didn't do college. If you did go to college, that was cool. Myself, I didn't do the college thing. I was working from a very young age. And actually, by the time I was 20 years old, I didn't know nothing about the business, but I had heard about a restaurant chain that I was working for, delivering pizzas on the weekends to make a few extra dollars. And I heard they had a food service program for management, and I decided to go for it. And I ended up going there full time. 2 weeks later, I'm just telling you, I didn't know nothing, man. 2 weeks later, young age, I was still 20 years old. They threw me the keys to a restaurant, gave me the combination of the safe, and this is your restaurant. It was a sit-down pizza place, and we had dining there also. We had dinners and that sort of thing. We had subs and dinners, pasta and burgers. We had wings, pizza, you name it, we had it all. Okay. And it was sit down and that we delivered also and that sort of thing. And I didn't know anything about the business, really, honestly. I was a young guy, but they felt I was ready, I guess, and they gave me the store. So here I am at 20 years old, managing a restaurant. It was called Pizza Kitchens. Here I am at 20 years old, managing this restaurant with young people that were 18 working for me, and they're like, why is this guy telling us to do when he's only 2 years older than us? So it was one of those situations. So it was difficult in the beginning, but I went on from there, of course, and I did all kinds of sorts of things, not just with them, but other places and I did a lot of cooking and that sort of thing, and I kept learning. I kept working with a lot of other cooks out there and chefs, and in those days, you just kept your mouth shut and you did what they said. It was just the way it was. And I learned a lot about the business, and I just kept going on. So I did over 45 years. I was in the senior homes also for over 30 years. I cooked for senior homes and that, more than one. And one of the biggest ones was a place called Granville, and it was 140 residents there I cooked for. You name it, I did it, and it was independent living. I never wanted to do nursing homes and that, but I did independent living, and I did them full time for 20 years. I was there. I cooked, like I mentioned, for about 140 people a day. And I did a couple other homes after that, Crimson Ridge and also West Side Manor. And I cooked for them also over the years. So I was always in this business of some sort of cooking. I even did a little French cooking. I had a friend of mine open a French restaurant, and he had asked me, this is way back when I was still young, my early 20s, and he had asked me if I would come with him over there and do French cooking. I didn't really know anything about that kind of food, to be honest with you, but I worked with other chefs there and that's how I learned how to cook that stuff. And French cooking is mainly sauteing. You do a lot of sauteing, and you have to have a dishwasher that's fast enough to keep up with you with the saute pans, because you're going through saute on a Friday night or a Saturday night, man. You're going through 50,000 saute pans and that. So I had a good career, and then I retired just a few years ago. I retired in that. Decided I had enough of that. Plus, my body wasn't the same. I just wasn't the same. The body wasn't the same. I wasn't as fast as I used to be and stuff. And I figured it was time to get out. So right during the pandemic is when I decided to take and retire, and that's when I ended my career. And I miss it so much today. And this thing I do here, Retired Chef Pat, was something for me to start up on TikTok, something to do. One of the kids I worked with in the home, she wanted me to see some funny stuff she had sent me, and I knew nothing about TikTok, and that's how I got started with TikTok. So I joined up just to see the funny stuff that she had sent me, and I said, hey, how about if I take and join TikTok and go on from there? And that's how I started Retired Chef Pat. So what's happening now is I'm on 3 socials now. Recently, I just got on YouTube also. I've been on Instagram and, of course, TikTok. So I'm on 3 socials now. And I just wanted to get to the part I wanted to let you guys know. I want to thank all my followers out there that follow me I've had followers for a long, long, long time. And I'm gaining new followers every day, all the time. That's why I put up so much content as much as I can every day without boring you guys. But I try to do all this different content and stuff. But I'll tell you something, without these other people out there, the cooks and the chefs and just homemakers and that I put their food recipes and that up, I wouldn't be where I am right now with the Retired Chef Pat. I just want you guys to know that. So please do me a favor, and you're not just following me, follow them also. Check them out. Check their websites out also. These people are all on TikTok that I asked to be with me. Actually, I don't ask. I duet their stuff, and they've been so kind to let me do it. Because they could say, no, I don't want you to do it, but they let me do it now. And so I show you what they can do also, and that's why I do it. I wanted a community here to show everybody about food. It wasn't just about me, but it was about everybody. So I enjoy putting all of them up also here with me. They all, like I said, are very kind to do that. So anyways, that's my story. Listen, guys, have a rest of your Sunday, safe Sunday and that. Love you all. Keep the likes and the shares and the follows going, okay? But I just thought I'd spend a little time with you. Remember all the other people I put up here that I share their stuff to, okay? Because they're all great people. Love you all. Have a great day now, guys. Stay safe.